Your home with BuildAid on Mix 93.8. Proudly brought to you by AfriSam. AfriSam, creating concrete possibilities.
BuildAid on Mix 93.8 FM. Good evening. My name's Graham Alexander in the studio as usual. Simon with a haircut and Kay looking after all of us.
And tonight we're talking about insurance. So we've got an interesting little question for you, because I went and looked up which rock stars have insured what. And here's a few. Gene Simmons from Kiss insured his tongue for $1 million. And Keith Richards his middle finger for $1.6 million. Now we've got
which finger?
His middle finger. And yes, Eugene is busy giving us all the finger. I'm sure it's not to do with that. But we're looking for a singer-songwriter who insured his vocal cords. And that's the only clue you're getting so far.
So Simon, this haircut, but tell us about it.
I thought I'd tidy up before I went down to Cape Town.
Because you're going to win, aren't you?
I hope I'm going to win.
Okay, so what's the competition?
AfriSam Sire Sustainability Awards.
Good stuff. You see, we don't have only an engineer on our desk. He's a very smart architect. I'm going to be chatting to some guys from King Price. Gideon Galloway couldn't make it this evening, but we'll catch him one day. But I know after the show we probably didn't need him anyway. Charle Halgryn is going to be chatting to us along with Eugene De Meillon and Wynand van Vuuren. Now, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to introduce your company. I've had the honor of being there and having a cup of coffee. And when you arrive, you immediately know this is a different business. And I think if you look at your marketing stuff, go to your website, and you'll see that you're not just talking to the average insurance company. Eugene, I know you're one of the instigators amongst a whole lot of other colleagues at King Price. But just give us this, like going to work in shorts and popcorn all over the place. It's different.
Yeah, it is different. Definitely can't claim to be one of the instigators. It's the difference was part of what grabbed me. And King Price, you can take a building, you can put pretty pictures up, you can have all kinds of fun things, and you can still have a dreary, non-trusting work environment. And I think the environment is more reflection of the people than anything else. So part of Gideon's dream was work should be fun. It engages people, and we hear worldwide about this, this new buzzword of engaged employees versus disengaged employees. And it's a team, it's a family, and part of that is saying be yourself. And there's not a lot of rules that tell you how you should dress and what you should do. So it's a really cool culture, hard-working culture, and most people deeply engaged with the organization.
You were instrumental in building one of the largest insurance businesses in South Africa. And so you've seen two worlds, if you like. And I guess insurance business could be boring. Does it have different results with the way you guys are working now?
Definitely so. And Graham, had 25 years with an organization which grew from a small organization into a really large international organization, and along with that comes a lot of stuff that disengages people in my mind. So mainly around rules. And when you're small, you trust everyone, people are engaged, and as you get bigger, I think the gap between executives grows larger and larger, so you start building in a whole lot of plans and rules in order to trust. And rules don't engender trust.
Yeah.
It's people being down there. So one of the things that we have is no offices. As you've seen when you were there, I share a desk with 3 colleagues, and it's open door policy. And sometimes you can think it's a little bit frustrating, but the staff have exactly the same layout, so you now can sympathize with some of the frustrations that they have. So it's about being accessible, about seeing what people are doing.
Yeah. when you said making rules, every time you make a rule, you've got to make another one.
Yep.
To keep that one in place. Wynand, you're an attorney by profession. So, and attorneys, I think, by the nature of your work, tend to be quiet in their offices. And
No,
he's
definitely
not. He's definitely
but not at King Price.
No, I must say that, you've seen it, the colourful, stimulating environment. And to just add on what Eugene said, is we see in our absenteeism, the sick leave, it's far lower than what we expect in call centre environment like this. Also, the people want to come to work. We've done away with Mondays. It's a fun day, and the managers are responsible to make sure that the guys don't get that Sunday night blues. They want to come, and even in our staff turnover, that's much lower than expected in this business. So we really see the effect of this. And you'll be very surprised if you can manage to engage your staff and make sure that you give them that working environment to think out of the box. What innovative ideas are coming from the guys, and they really feel loved, and it's really a fun place as you've seen it.
I'm chatting to the guys from King Price, Wynand and Eugene De Meillon. You guys are involved in insuring most things, but just so I get it clear in my head, and it would include motor cars, homes, contents, and so on. But does that exclude life insurance and medical insurance?
Yeah, that's about all that we exclude currently, that we're not doing. It's the life insurance and the medical. But as we also said in our latest business insurance advert, we insure everything else.
Okay. We're going to be chatting to part of your team, Charle, a little later in the show about community insurance. And it revolves around insuring buildings or homes and so on. And that's one of the products that you offer, is insuring a building. Now, just so that I think I've got the idea because I do a building show. Okay. But let's make sure everybody else out there, how do you insure a building, and what happens when it falls down? It sounds complicated. And is it compulsory to insure a building?
Well, definitely not. You as the owner of the building, always, you can decide whether you want to have it insured or not. I think if it maybe still belongs to the bank, they might put some pressure on you to have it insured. But it all started back in the day, where the first insurance started. The guys at a ship sank with everything that was on it, and that ended the people's lives. And they came together and said, listen, no, let's see how we can do this. We put a pool of money together, and if your ship sinks, we will sort you out. And exactly the same, you have to decide, your building, if it burns down tomorrow, is it comprehensively insured? What's going to happen if you have to move to another building in the interim for your business interruption that's going with it? It's always the better answer to have yourself insured against
Eugene,
any loss like that.
And Wynand, whoever wants to answer this. Someone might have a grass house, another one a tin house, another one made of dressed stone. How do you put a value on a building? When a client comes and says, I want to insure this building for R1 million, do you rely on his valuation, or do you have a look at it and say, no, it's probably R2 million?
Well, that's very easy. Well, it's more or less you're going to have to look at what it's going to cost to rebuild the building. So and that can be done by square meter very easily. And you in your own capacity have much easier ways to determine that. But that's more or less how one should look at it. On the personal side, if I want to insure my house, most of the time when it's a new house and it's bonded, the bank will tell you this is the amount that it must be insured for. Otherwise, you can get a quantity surveyor or send the plan somewhere where they will look at the per square meter and give you a good idea of what it's going to cost for you to rebuild this building.
We've had a question come in from Hazel. It's quite a lengthy question, and just so that you don't give up on us, Hazel, we're going to try and deal with it just a little bit later and see if we can answer the question. Alternatively, the guys will get hold of you tomorrow to chat about it. But I think for everybody else out there, they may be interested in the question and the answer. Charle, the highlight of the show. Okay, we've been chatting about community insurance, and we've sort of set the stage and so on. Now let's look at it from an insurance point of view, but more importantly, from a technological point of view. I understand you guys have developed some software along with colleagues in Australia that can help everybody with this new legislation.
Yes, that is most definitely the most exciting part of the show. It gives us an opportunity to give a little bit of commercial for what we've been working on the past few months. We were extremely excited with the partnership of urbanize.com. It's a software company that basically develops software in the building management space that makes it extremely easy for the people that manage these buildings to do the financials, to handle the meetings, and obviously the day-to-day maintenance, because this is what they're getting bombarded with on a daily basis. So we were very proactive in identifying the massive impact that these changes will have specifically in the lives of the managing agents that deals with this on a daily basis. You can now imagine over and above the very busy daily schedules, they now need to think about the maintenance plans. They now need to implement those maintenance plans, because they will be the people that the homeowners will look at. The trustees won't have the ability to manage and to maintain that. And for that, you obviously need software to manage it. You can imagine you manage 100 schemes, and those 100 schemes have different maintenance, planned maintenance functions that needs to happen at different times of the year. So if you do not have the software that can manage that, you are pretty much going to run around.
Let's try this question.
Okay, this is from Hazel. She says, we are a homeowners association registered as a non-profit company, and common shared property is minimal. So it's surrounding walls, entrance and exit gates, and electric fence. The home insurance is paid by the owner. Where does the homeowners association fit into the community shared and sectional title acts? And she's asking in regarding reserve accounts, etc.
Yes, the Act also affects homeowners association because, as she quite rightly said, there's Hazel quite rightly said, there's communal property. Whoever manage that communal property, whether the homeowners association's got their own people that they've appointed to manage it, or whether they've outsourced it to a managing agent, they need to get the insurance on that. But they also enjoy all the benefits of the Ombudsman. It covers homeowners associations, but also the levy specifically with regards to the common property. The rules will be exactly the same, be it a sectional title, be it a share block, be it a homeowners association. It covers all those owners.
100%. And while you're there, Kay, so who's this dude with a 6 million rand voice?
Well, the bus, of course. I mean, everyone got it right. Well done. A few more names came through: James, Steve, and Avi and Robbie. And Erica, it's your birthday and you've tried so hard. So we're going to get hold of you tomorrow to get you some ice cream, because you really, really do deserve it. And here's the bus up now.
Okay, Simon and Ian, thank you so much for your contribution to the show. But more importantly, thank you to our guests, Eugene De Meillon, Charle, Halgryn, and Wynand van Vuuren. Thank you guys. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for having us.
We do this every Wednesday between 6 and 7. Chat you next week. Ciao.
Your home with BuildAid on Mix brings you all sorts of interesting info about building. Graham Alexander chats to different guests every Wednesday evening between 6 and 7. Proudly brought to you by AfriSam. AfriSam, creating concrete possibilities.